Hey, welcome everybody to Leaders Chat Live. My name is Tracy Turnberg. We are super excited to have you back with us again today. Today we're going to be talking to a fantastic leader out of Atlanta, Georgia, by the name of Quinton Wiggins. But before we bring Quinton on, I want you to know a few things. I want you to comment as we're talking. I mean, I'm telling you what, if you want to be part of the show and help dictate the flow of the conversation, then go ahead and make a comment. If we can get to it, we will try to address your question. No guarantees, though. We don't know what we're talking about at the time of the question. We want to interact with you. So welcome. So, like I said, my guest here today is Quinton Wiggins out of Atlanta, Georgia. Now, he's affectionately known as Q. The guy is so awesome. He goes by a single letter. That's how great he is. Now, Q has hit pinnacles in every company he's been in, has tons of success, has a twist on doing business that I think you're absolutely going to love and enjoy, and you'll be able to implement into your business right away to start to see results. And that's what we're all here for. We're not here just to play games. We want to see results in our business. So we're super excited about this. And Mr. Quinton, are you out there, sir? Thanks for having us here. It looks like you may be muted. Are you there now? Say it again.
I am here. Can you hear me?
I got you now. Yes, sir.
Fantastic. All right. Fantastic. Good to be here.
Yes. Thank you for helping us. Or thanks for being out with us. So, Q, a lot of people listening and watching probably don't know your backstory. How did you get involved in network marketing?
Excellent question. You're taking me back a little bit. Taking me back to the 90s, believe it or not.
The 90s.
The 90s is when I actually saw this for the first time, and it made sense to me. It's something that resonated with me. I was working in corporate America, doing what I thought I should be doing. But one of the challenges for me was that always kind of kept me from reaching the goals I wanted to in corporate America. I don't have a college degree.
Okay. And
whenever it was time for the big moves or the kind of things that you really wanted, that became an issue at every point. And I realized very quickly, no matter how hard I worked, how tenacious I was, how smart I was, if the decision was up to someone who had a gotcha, and a lot of times I got caught in that. And that's just my story. So, that was fine. I realized that at probably my late 20s, early 30s. And I went to this meeting. It was an opportunity meeting. Now, I'm an opportunist. I kind of wasn't afraid to go out and check out what was going on. And I went to this meeting, and there was this synergy that I can't explain. It just resonated with me. I saw young people that were sharp, articulate, and their stories were similar to mine. And I got a chance to meet some individuals who were having great success in what they were doing, and they seemed to be having fun. They were helping people, and they were living a life of excellence. It seemed good to me. So that's why it kind of resonated with me. This was this is 20 years ago at least when that happened for me. I was once I saw it, I was hooked. I'd work my 9 to 5, and I do. And as soon as my 9 to 5 was over, I changed clothes and put on I polished my shoes up, and I was out at it, man. That was almost every night of the week.
Yeah,
I had a passion for it. And from there, I kind of now I'll tell anybody that's listening to me right now. Was I overnight success? Absolutely.
I wasn't.
Absolutely not.
I'm still waiting for that moment to happen, Q.
Man, let me tell you something, man. If there was mistakes to be made, I made them.
Yeah.
If there were things you shouldn't do, I did them. And I learned along the way, but it never thwarted my passion for the possibilities.
Right.
But that's what kept me going and driving me, because it was all about the possibilities. I would look at people who were successful, and I knew if that they could do it, I could do it.
Yeah.
Only thing I wanted was an opportunity, and that's what this industry represented for me. It was funny because as I started to grow in this opportunity, I was reading books and affirmations and all the things that you people that worked with me were looking at me like I was crazy. They were like, "Really?
Yeah.
Are we doing this?" And when people would be at lunch, I'm reading Think and Grow Rich. But there was definitely a thing for me where I started to see things differently.
Right.
I started to understand things a little bit differently. But the biggest thing for me was when I realized that I could do it.
Yeah.
And that I could be successful.
There's an old saying, there's personal growth's going to happen before financial growth. And people think, hey, I'm gonna jump into the opportunity and I'm just gonna right to the top, and that can definitely happen. But for most people, it's like you got to develop some skills. You got to learn the workflow. You've got to learn the lingo. It's like this isn't your typical. Like you said, you worked your 9 to 5, then you came home and you got your business clothes on, and then you went out and took care of business, right? And it's like a lot of people think, I'm going to work 9 to 5, and I'll send an email, and I'm going to, hey, I worked a heavy load today, and in the beginning, you're going to put a lot of time into to helping you. I think that's what I love about Leaders Chat Live is the conversations that we're having are those things that I think are going to stretch people's minds. I think it's going to stretch people's personal growth limits to say, you know what, maybe I should pick up a book, or maybe I should do this. That's going to change them. That's going to help them get to that next personal development level, that next pin title level. You've heard of the guy named John Maxwell, right?
Absolutely.
So John's got this deal, right? My favorite author. But John's got this deal. It's like, listen, your leadership of 1 to 10. And if you're a 3, you can't expect to sponsor and attract to 10. You got to develop your leadership levels. You got to crank yourself up. Now, can you be a 3 and get to a 10? Maybe. But if you're a 3, you can get to a 6 or 7, then you can start attracting higher quality business partners. And I think a lot of people think it's, well, if I build the business and I make the money, then those people come, and they do. But you don't realize you're developing your skills as you're building your business.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
I mean, in this business based on the same thing that you're just saying that I heard many, many years ago is be who you're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of people looking for that 10 or that leader, but they're not that person.
Yeah.
Birds of a feather tend to flock together.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for an eagle to soar anywhere they're not going to flock with you. An eagle's not flocking.
No, they're not. The other day we were talking on the phone, and all of a sudden I'm like, Jeepers Q, there's a bald eagle in my tree out here.
Man, that was phenomenal. I showed my whole family. I ran around showing them the picture, man.
I don't think Q, I got to go. Boom. I got the camera. I got a couple pictures.
Awesome. I mean, favorite picks.
Yeah. People, there's an old saying out there is, would you join you? If you're a leader and you ask yourself in the corner of your mind, would you join you? And if
That's
the
right.
answer is no, you need to start being someone that you would join. And
Absolutely.
when you're in this business, if people don't want to join, why would you join yourself if you don't believe in yourself?
Absolutely.
And so how do you become that? And so I know one thing that you're really good at, Q, is and we talked about in the past, is the simple application of going out there and just customer acquisition, man. You really believe in customer acquisition, don't you?
I do. I believe in personal activity, and that for me, that's tangible.
Yeah.
A lot of times I have people that are on my team or people that I'm partnering with, and they say, well, Q, I'm doing this, and this, and this. Just nothing's happening. Now, it's hard for me to quantify that because I can't see on the sheet the results.
Right.
A person may say there, I've heard many times, a person, man, I talk to 100 people a week. Nobody's responding. I have to take them at their word. It's hard for me to believe that they're actually having a productive conversation with 100 people and absolutely nothing's happening. But what I can say is, for a person that gets proficient at acquiring customers, whatever their product is, that shows up on a page.
Yep.
When I'm looking as a leader for productivity, the first thing that I do, I'm looking at people's personal results.
Yeah.
The personal activity is definitely reflected in whatever that is. If they sell 25 widgets, I should see 25 widgets on the screen saying this person. I'm going to talk to them first.
Yeah.
That's just because I know that they're having a conversation. They're doing the things that it takes to be successful. Now, their conversation may need some work if you're talking about recruiting, where I may have to come in. That's fine, because a lot of times I didn't learn recruiting lingo and the things that you say and don't say from just reading.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
From doing.
Yeah.
I heard a saying a long time ago, you can't learn how to swim reading a book. Yeah, you can read the book. It'd be a great book. Kick, stroke, kick, stroke. At some point, you got to get in the pool and swallow some water.
Yeah.
That's just the reality of learning how to swim. So that's where I come in. But I always look at people's activity levels when it comes to customer acquisition, getting moving product, whatever that product may be. Because I know if a person's moving a certain amount of product, they're having conversations, they're getting active, and they have the work ethic.
Right.
Work ethic you can't teach. A person has to want to do that. One of the things that I knew coming into this business of direct sales, network marketing, was I was willing to work hard. I'm the type of individual that said I can work as hard as anyone. I'm very rarely let anyone outwork me. Now, I may not be as charismatic. I may not have all the right things to say, but we both got 24 hours.
Yep.
I can at least be alongside you. If you can do 23, I can do 23 hours in 1 minute.
Yep.
If we could, and that's the great equalizer in this business, time.
Yeah.
If you're using it properly. I learned a long time ago from a mentor. He's gone now today, Mr. Ken Rowland. He said, you don't have to have a lot of time. Just use the time that you have wisely.
Yeah.
It's not about working at 8 hours a day. If you've got 1 hour, use it wisely. And that made all the sense in the world to me. But like I said, again, this business is all about growth and attract. But I didn't attract the individuals I was looking for. I'll say this, until I became the individual.
Yeah.
And that came with time, and that came with hard knocks, and that came with a lot of rejection.
Yeah.
That's the thing I tell individuals. You got to get the no's to get to the yeses.
Yep.
There's no way around it. Like you just said earlier, and I appreciate that. Sometimes people will get lucky. That happens. Those are those stories that are far in between, and sometimes we hype those stories, but that is not the reality. You've got to get those hard knocks. You got to get those. I've had people say things to me. You got to be kidding me. I remember when I first got started in this business, I was excited, like a lot of people are. And the first thing you think of is family members. That's your support system. And man, I was excited. I said, man, I can do this, and I got to go tell my Uncle Joe. Uncle Joe always got my back. Uncle Joe is always in my corner. And I came to Uncle Joe and I said, man, Uncle Joe, you got to support me on this. Blah, 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 blah. He looked at me as only Uncle Joe could and said, you got to be kidding me. And I said, it tore me up because I was like, not Uncle Joe.
Yeah.
But it prepared me. What it did was I started to understand quickly that, hey, listen, you've got to build up your belief in whatever it is that you're doing beyond anybody's support. You've got to build your belief. And the only way to really build your belief, in my opinion, is to do a couple of things. Get all the information you can on whatever products or company that you're dealing with. You've got to, if it means going out to the home office, so many people join companies and never see the home office.
Yep.
I never understood why. If it's something you truly believe in, something you feel that can take you to the next level financially, security-wise, why wouldn't you go out, spend the money, see the people, Meet the individuals behind the scenes. Number two is you've got to build a belief in your product. Now, what I did to build a belief in my products initially, I got my product out to a lot of people. I sold my product to as many people as I could in a short period of time. Now, not to making it wasn't about for me making money. It was for me getting the testimonies, getting people to give me feedback, to tell me what they thought about the product itself. Once I got the positive feedback from a lot of individuals, I knew I had something special.
Yeah.
So that in itself was my belief for me. Last but not least, get a check in your hand. No better way to really build your belief than to get a check with your name on it.
Yep.
And that for me, even if it's a $20 check, it doesn't matter the amount. It matters that it is something and it has your name on it, and it's something that you can cash and you can hold as tangible. And those are the things for me. Once you have those things in place, it builds your belief, and it becomes very, very, very difficult at that point to shake it.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the biggest thing that shakes many people. If you're on shaky ground with where you are and what you're doing, it doesn't take much for people to knock you off and take you into what I call the emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
The emotional roller coaster is the thing that takes most people. If anybody's ever sponsored somebody in direct sales or network marketing, and they were excited that first night or two or three, and all of a sudden you can't catch up with them anymore over the phone. They in the witness protection program, as we call it.
Yeah.
It's usually because somebody got to them that they cared about, that they respected, and crushed their belief.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they'll never tell you. You'll never know why.
Nope.
But usually that is the case.
Yeah. And I agree with you. Knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
Power is money. And money is fun, right? And
man.
so man, I tell you what, like you said, learn about your product, learn about your comp plan, learn about your company, because man, that is power. When you feel powerful, then you start to develop the belief, and all of a sudden the belief comes in. You get a little bit of a check. I don't care, like you said, I don't care if it's $20, $24, $2,400. Man, I tell you what, then you start having some fun, right?
Absolutely.
And that's like the big umbrella to old Uncle Joe, who likes to tell you no. Everybody's got him, man. Everybody's got an Uncle Joe that said, "You crazy." But I tell you what, if you got that fun money check in your hand umbrella, that you can withstand the storm of Uncle Joe telling you no. But
absolutely,
for me, being told no, I'm a pretty determined guy. If someone tells me I can't do something I believe I can do, I'm going to do it. I did the Ironman triathlon because somebody said I couldn't do it.
Wow.
I needed a goal and said I should do the Ironman. You can't do that. All right. Here, hold my water bottle. And it took me 3 years to train for it and get in the race and complete it and everything. I haven't run outside since because people that run are stupid. That's just insane. Good for you. I'm glad you do it. You're nuts.
Right.
But, so when it comes to business, I get determined. If I want to do something, I'll find out. It's not going to go smooth. I understand that. I'm going to take my bumps and my bruises. And I've got a good buddy. He's a surgeon. And, snap your fingers. Would you want to be a surgeon today? You'd be like, well, dang, that's all kinds of money and job security and all this stuff. But, man, you go back and you listen to the horror stories that he shares with education going through, coming out in a huge financial. I don't want to pay his college debt. Dear Lord, that's crazy. And then the long hours and the 48-hour shifts and all the things and the people that he's lost on the operating table as he's learning the process and all those things. And I didn't ask him if he's lost people, but I'm going to the extreme. He's faced a ton of obstacles in his traditional business mindset, right? What would happen if he decided to quit because it became hard work? Man, we wouldn't have any surgeons out there at all.
Exactly.
Right? And so network marketing provides us a platform that levels the playing field. I don't know about you in your business, Q, but I got more high school educated people than I got college educated people probably in the business because that are successful.
Sure.
Because if you overthink, you tend to start to doubt things, and the more you doubt, the less you do. The less you do, the more you think. It's
Sure.
think, doubt, do, and it's just kind of this vicious circle. And educated people, when they come to looking at the industry, and this is and be careful how I say this because I don't want to be negative, but people can look at our industry because sometimes people hype, and they
Sure.
make it sound like there's no work involved. You're just going to get rich. Here's the lottery ticket. There you go.
Sure.
And I think ultimately that hurts our industry as a whole because man, it makes people believe something that's not true. And when
Absolutely.
they get in there, then I say, wait, this isn't what I thought it was. And all of a sudden now it's like they have this aha moment of, wow, I got bamboozled. And so
Sure.
for me, I'm blunt. I'm very blunt and honest. Like I don't know if you're gonna be successful or not. I'm gonna help you. You put the work in, we'll get the job done. But I ain't gonna do it for you, and it's not gonna happen overnight, and it's not gonna happen without effort. You're not gonna hit those sales quotas or your pins or whatever just because you showed up. You're
Sure.
going to have to go through some pain and suffering and some work, right?
Absolutely.
And so I think that's a big thing that people need to understand is, on the last chat we talked to Barry Burton, we talked about the why.
Leader. Yeah.
If you missed that one, go back to that, watch that, because I tell you, understanding your why, and for me, when people they do that witness protection program thing on you, man, it's like you got to remind them of their why. Do they even know why they joined the company? What was their purpose?
Exactly.
Was it just to make a quick cash grab and jump, or was it a long term goal that they truly believed in that they wanted to accomplish?
Sure.
Because when you figure that out, at what point did you figure that out that network marketing was going to provide the avenue for you to be able to achieve more financially in your life? At what point did that happen for you?
For me, wow. I was working with Ford Motor Company, and I ran into the company that I'm with now today. I was at a place in my life where I realized that I was trying to fit a square into a round hole,
Yeah,
and I was going through the motions like everybody else, trying to keep a good job. I had a job that I hated. It represented no opportunity for me. I was ready, and I was at a place in my development where I knew I could take off. I was ready. I just felt like I was ready if I had the right opportunity.
right.
And so things lined up. I saw the opportunity clearly and ran, which was about 18 maybe years ago. And now today, the rest is history. But I knew. Now, once I got started, I think about 1 year in, I was able to match my salary at Ford Motor Company.
See, that's awesome.
Yeah, maybe a year and a half, maybe a little more than that, but not much. I matched it. Within in 3 years, I had quadrupled my salary at Ford Motor Company, and I was really truly in a stride where I was understanding what it took to be successful. I was listening to what you were saying about people coming in thinking about get rich quick and the things that people say and all that crap. I always tell people this is a personal growth plan with a compensation plan attached. That's all it is.
Yeah,
As far as Mr. Bird is concerned, great leader in his own right. His passion for this business is second to none. And one of the things I love about what he said yesterday and the way he explains it, his why is so big, his how didn't matter. That's when you get to a no matter what type of individual,
yeah,
whatever it takes individual. And once you have that mindset, it doesn't matter. Nobody can knock you off. Nobody can dissuade you. Nobody can knock you off course. And what I tell anybody, once you have that why in place, and it's so huge that it's something you think about every day. It's a lot of people when you go to the range or shooting, it says ready, aim, fire. You become a fire, aim, ready person.
yeah.
it's just, man, let's get it done. And that's what this business is all about. But I knew for myself about 17 years ago that this was the course for me. Financially, once I knew that it could take care of my family financially, then it just became about really about understanding the principles of leadership.
Yeah.
I hear the term sometimes used, and it's servant leader. I even strive today to be more of a servant leader, somebody who's looking. Now, my only job is to get people what they want in life,
Yeah.
financially, lifestyle wise, whatever the case may be, personal development wise. If I can do that, in my mind, the rest kind of works itself out.
Yeah. Yeah. I personally, people ask you, hey, how much do you make? It doesn't matter what I make. What I make's my check. It ain't your check.
Exactly.
Question is, how much do you want to make? I'm here to help you. Okay. And, I've been full time for forever. Out of college, I started network marketing. Here's my sponsor is this guy here, Dale Maloney.
Dale Maloney.
And he wrote a book. I could have quit $10 million ago in our previous company. And, so I was taking, my journey is completely different than everybody else's, but,
Incredible.
And, the secrets and the lessons I have from him have just, put me in a position in my life that is just, man, I'm living my best life. Right. And, there's Dale passed away 3 years ago. And, I think of him every day. I'm thankful for him every single day, for taking a chance on me and wanting to mentor me. And, I'll share more with him, maybe some other time, not today. But he's when you start caring more about people in your downline,
Yes.
On your team than you care about yourself, I tell you what, the sky is the limit for your business.
That's right.
That's right. In no way, shape, or form should you and I compare our businesses side by side, saying my sky is your sky is not my sky, vice versa. It's like, listen, my sky is my sky, your sky is your sky. I mean, if you need 2,000 hit your sky and I need 2,500 hit my sky, we both hit our sky, right? I find a lot of value in a lot of things that have nothing to do with money. It has to do with sharing time with family. It has to do with seeing you get to share time with your kids.
Sure.
I find joy in that. It's not quantitative, it's not financial, but it's a purpose for me to keep going. In this industry, and that's why we do things. Why we do. Once you build up a residual check, you find a different reason to keep getting up and keep doing what you're doing, right?
Absolutely. I'm sorry. No, I'm listening to you, and your story with Dale is tremendous because I had a chance to meet, but many years ago we met, and I saw your kids. They were young. My children were young, and we were at probably some resort, some excursion, and living a great life, obviously. But to see your growth and to see your journey, to see the parallels, because in many ways our journeys have paralleled quite a bit. You have a Dale Malone. That's incredible to me. Now, I took mentorship from several people.
Yeah.
You had Mr. Barry Bird on. He's a mentor of mine for some specific reasons. His passion, his charisma, the things that he brings to the table. I have other people that I take other things from or took other things from. But all of the things that I did personally was I did because I had a hunger, the same as your hunger. But you were able to get it from a master networker at an early age who obviously saw enough in you inside to say, this is a gentleman that I'm gonna take to the top and teach everything I know. That's phenomenal. But the journeys parallel. There are always differences. It's amazing, but I think there are always similarities.
Yeah.
In work ethic, in the principles that it takes to be successful. And that's not only in our industry, obviously, in anything that anyone does. I'm sure you're a student of success just as I am, and you listen to people who've been successful in a number of different things. You always can sit and watch and say, man, I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it. I knew they worked tirelessly. They work from 8 to faint.
Yeah.
That's always the common denominator, it seems.
Isn't it though? People always say, "Man, you're lucky." Lucky? Look, I worked my tail off, right? I'm not lucky. I'm a hard
Right.
worker. Just because it appears like luck, or we make it look easy, or we make it look like we're having fun, is because we're having fun. And in this business is crazy simple.
Sure.
It is crazy simple. I mean, the concept of network marketing and home direct sales, MLM, home-based business, whatever you want to call it, is crazy simple. You find a product that you love, that you're passionate about, share it with others, and you sell that, and you share it over and over and over again. It's very, very simple. Not always easy, because you get Uncle Joe ripping on you. You get, it's like you run out of people to talk to and things like that. So it's like, how do you get those people? Keep your funnel full, right? Because let's face it, this is a numbers game, right?
Absolutely.
It's a numbers game. It's like you need to go through people, because not everyone's going to buy your product. Not everyone's going to, join your business opportunity. It's just not for everybody, and that's 100% okay. Now, for me, I give people permission to say no before I even talk to them. Say, now, if this isn't for you, Quinton, that's 100% okay. So I'm giving you permission to say no, so the stress is off, right? You're not thinking like, well, he's gonna, he expects me to say yes or buy it. It's like, listen, if it's not for you, that's 100% okay. And so now I'm giving you permission to actually say yes.
Absolutely.
Right. And so when I'm talking to people, and let's get into some nuts and bolts of like daily workflow, right? Like when you're talking like customer acquisition and prospecting and closing out the month per se, when we're towards the end of the month here. What is it that you do on a daily basis that churns the machine that feeds your business? As far as customers and new business builders, what are you doing on a daily basis to feed that into your system?
For me, the number one thing is get out of the house at some point. If you're right now, this is kind of not as relevant because, of course, we're all kind of locked in a little bit.
Right.
Get out of the house, whether it be through social media, whether it be through whatever the case may be. You've got to get out of the confines of your dwelling, whatever way that may be. For me, I'm a big, and I'll speak really for now pre-lockdown and talk about everyday average stuff that you would do normally. I'm a big tool person. What I mean by that, I have a toolbox. My toolbox has magazines in it. My toolbox has catalogs in it. My toolbox has obviously my business cards.
Right.
Anything that I can use to put something in people's hands.
Right.
Because all I'm trying to do is create a conversation.
Yep.
Now, I'm a little more grassroots. I'm a little more, I guess, freestyle. What I mean by that is I'm not really looking to see where the conversation is going to go. I'm going to let people dictate that. Some people will look at my catalog, and I've been doing this so long, I'm listening for people's reactions, questions, but I want people to kind of tell me what they're interested in, and based on whatever it is that they tell me is where I tailor my conversation to. So if I give someone a catalog, I just say, and this is a great thing about a catalog, who doesn't want a little catalog?
Yeah.
Hey, can I have your permission to give you a catalog? I'd never had somebody say no. I don't, unless it just doesn't happen.
Right.
So most cases, people I'm giving a catalog to generally are people I've seen. I may not have even said hello, but they've seen me. We've shared spaces for whatever reason, so they're comfortable enough, at least at the very least, to take my catalog. But what I find is a lot of times, once people get the catalog in their hand, which everybody loves a little sales catalog, they may recognize something that makes sense to them. And based on what they tell me at that point, I said, well, listen, fantastic. One of the things I don't do, I don't give people a drink of water with a fire hose. I make sure that I'm always conscious of their time and my time. If people can appreciate that.
Yeah.
I tell people a lot of times that even if a person asks me a question, hey, listen, I've seen this Tahitian noni juice thing around, or this Daba 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 thing around, or this whatever the product may be. I may say, well, you know what, that's great, but I tell you what, I don't have a lot of time right now. Someplace I've got to be. I'm not sure you're busy. Let me get your information, phone number, email, blah, 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 and we'll have a conversation later.
Yeah.
And that's how I operate. That shows them I appreciate, because so many people disrespect your time.
Yeah.
And people are scared to talk to people because if I show any interest, they're going to bust that fire hose out on me. And I'm not going to be able to get away.
Yeah.
I'm going to be stuck. And I don't know how to tell them no. And they'll grab me by the arm and they won't let me go. And and I understand that. And I tell people who are new in any business, don't do that.
Yeah.
People appreciate when you appreciate them.
Yeah.
And a lot of it now, everything that I'm telling you is not about any particular product. It's just about human interaction.
Right.
And doing things in a professional way. I know when you say sales to anybody, if I tell somebody I'm a salesperson, it's like, oh man, really? You couldn't find anything else, huh?
Yeah.
And why is that? Because salespeople tend to have this aura that they're trying to get you to buy something you don't want.
Yep.
And I'm of the opinion, I read a book years ago called Listening for Success. And it said, listen, bad salespeople sell you something you don't want. They can sell a lot of people stuff they don't need. Great salespeople offer you something that you need or want.
Yeah.
But they can only do that if they listen to you.
Right.
So one of the things I've been working on for a long time is the ability to listen to people's needs. Some people may say, listen, I don't need this particular product, but I might need this one. And sometimes we have to get out of our own way and say, you know what, that's cool. That's something I had in my mind for you. And one of the other things I try not to do is ever prejudge anybody. We always have this prejudge machine. They wouldn't be interested. They would be interested.
Yep.
And those are the kinds of things that I try to stay away from when I'm speaking to people, particularly, like I said, again, when you're talking about what I was speaking of earlier was personal production, doing those things every day. Now, once I've got this dialogue going, really now it's just a matter of the process. If I've got a person's email address, cell phone number, I can drip pieces of information on them
100%.
and give them the opportunity to opt out at any point.
Yeah.
And that's how I operate. But for me, it's so natural now that I don't even think about it. And I tell people all the time, particularly people who are new, don't leave your house to prospect when you leave your house.
Right.
Or when, don't go out and say, I'm going out down the street now, I'm going to find 10 people to talk to.
Yeah.
Just go grocery shopping. Go do what you normally do. The opportunities come about if you recognize them.
Yeah.
And business becomes a whole lot more fun.
Yeah.
Once this business is fun, you're not going to do it anymore.
Right.
And I'm a believer that keep it fun, keep it simple, because it is simple, like you said.
Yeah. If you just ask people a very simple question is, hey Q, how you doing? You're typically gonna unload on me, right? Like, dude, man, my blood pressure's up. Man, I can't pay my bills. And everybody likes to complain about where their life is. Sure. They're gonna give you an opportunity to go, hey, but if you just walk up and say, hey Q, here's a catalog and here's, buy from me. Oh, nobody wants to be sold anything, right? I mean, we want a solution. We want a solution for our life and our problems and our health and our financial situation. I'm looking for solutions. I'm not looking to buy stuff, right? And so, man, if you can listen and say, man, I really need a solution for, is what they're saying, man, then you can get in there. And one of the things that I like to train on is if say you get a catalog and you're doing a follow-up, I don't say, hey, what do you think about that? I don't say, because that's just an open-ended question. They may say, I didn't like it, whatever. And I'll say, hey, what did you like best about the catalog? What did you like best about what the video was? What did you like best about this Leaders Chat Live? And they go, well, I really liked it that, the product sound, this product. It could be any one of 100 products, right? Or I really like that there's a business opportunity. Now I know which direction that you and I are going to have a conversation. Right?
That's right.
Now I'm not pushing product down, because I've done it where I push product down to someone that's they walked away like, all you talked about was product. I mean, I'm here to make money. And I'm like, but I'm passionate about the product. Well, he's not. I'm going to talk the same language, right? And so you got to find that out in a very non-threatening way. It's like, what'd you like best about the webinar that you watched? Well,
Sure.
and then whatever they say, I 100% agree with you. I
Right.
love residual income. That's why I do this business. And generally, I always agree with them because there's 100 facets of an opportunity that you can fall in love with. And so for
Absolutely.
me, I've always been taught having a 3-foot rule. And if you're within 3 feet of me, I should be talking to you. And it's not I'm trying to sell you or pitch you or anything. I'm just like, hey Q, how you doing today, man? It's like, good, yeah, good. You're looking good. You're this, you're that. Have a conversation, And
Absolutely.
that's everything that we do. Everything boils down to this very complex formula of just have a conversation with people, find out what the solution that they need, and then just drive them, direct them to the information that you might have the solution for their desires, right? I mean, it's pretty simple, right? Uh-oh, did you lock up on me?
For a second there.
Yeah, you did.
I think we're good now.
Streaming stopped on us, so I think we're back live now. Apologize for that for people that missed out on that. We just said the most beautiful thing, and y'all missed out. We're not coming back next time. So we had a bad connection there on the internet. So, we're live. We don't know what's going on, man.
Hey, that's the good about being live. That's the wonder of it.
Well, the good thing is now we're only 30 seconds live. We can go for another hour.
Let's do it. I can do this all. I love what we do. I love our business. I love what it represents for people. It's not hard for me. I probably could talk all night about it because it means that much to me.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And give people something really to really go chew on as they leave. As we wrap up here, Q, what's your daily nugget that you can give people that maybe give them like 3 things. You give them the knowledge, the belief, and get a check. But let's talk workflow for a second.
Sure.
What are 3 things that everybody in the industry should be doing on a daily basis to get their dreams and goals?
Daily basis activity, personal growth of some kind, whatever works for you, whether it's audio, whether it's reading. Every day I'm trying to listen to something, whether it's Brian Tracy, Zig Ziglar, we can go on and on and on. Maxwell, obviously, there's several, whatever works for an individual, whatever it takes to get a person, because in this business, it's 90% the mental aspect of it. Having your mind in a frame of mind that's positive with all the negative things that are going on all around us. And I learned a long time ago, don't watch a lot of news. Keep the news to a minimum. I know right now with what's going on, it's kind of difficult not to.
Yeah.
But news tends to be negative. That tends to be what pays their bills. It is what it is. So to feed your mind with a lot of that would not be the best thing to do. You want to be in a positive state, which means for me, I love audios. Audios are great because I can drive and listen.
Right.
And simple. It's I can get a little lazy. Flipping pages sometimes. Man, any kind of personal development works. A couple of my favorite books. I gotta say these before I get off.
Please.
Before I let's see. We got here. First book. This is great. This book was a game changer. This is an old school book for those that may not be as familiar. The Millionaire Next Door.
So tell people who that's by. Who wrote that? Millionaire Next Door.
Written by Thomas J. Stanley and William D. Danko.
Okay. So y'all go out. You're looking for a good book. Q says The Millionaire Next Door is a great read. I've read it. I love it. But make sure you go grab a copy and get it read.
And I'll tell you what I took from this book that stuck with me was it said most people have a temperature gauge. And it says that what that simply means is have a thermometer, if you will. Well, I'll say temperature gauge because what it is, it says most people have this gauge that says, okay, as long as I'm at this temperature, I'm fine. If I get to, for example, some people have temperature gauge is set at $1,000. If they're $1,000, they're smooth. If it gets to $1,500, they'll spend $500 to get back to $1,000.
Yeah.
And if it gets down to $500, they'll scramble to get back to $1,000.
Yep.
That's how people's mindset works. And that was a great read years ago. My favorite, though, as it pertains to network marketing or direct sales, is this right here. This is called Your Best Year in Network Marketing. This book is written by Mark Yarnell. Changed my life as it pertains to understanding this business. I'll tell you why. A couple of things that stuck in my mind. First thing is, it prepared me for the ups and downs. When Mark Yarnell made his first $20 million, he said, he got started with the business, and literally 5 people upline from him had quit the same day he started. As he was calling upline, they were trying to pitch another deal to him.
That didn't work out well.
Now check this out. He went on to make $20 million with that business.
Yeah. He's a legend, man.
So that's money they missed. Right. Now, he talked about the pitfalls, and this book prepared me for things I would see. And, it was funny because as I saw things in this business, I could refer back to this book and say, man, Mark Yarnell said that would happen. So I wasn't as devastated. Second thing was, he said that systems are great, but for every leader who's made phenomenal income in this business, they can share with you a way they did it that may not be in the same system that another leader that made another $20 million. So
yeah,
he just talked about there are different ways to do this business. It's just a matter of a mindset and being consistent and persistent. So those are 2 books that are great for me. I'll say personal development, as we just talked about, number 1, personal accountability, activity, the things that you need to do. I mean, this business is about people. You can't get around that. You can't step to the side of that. Whether it be, social media is what's happening now. You've got to understand how to do that, but also know how to go kneecap to kneecap. Learn how to explain your business proficiently. I learned a long time ago, the power is to the presenter, the person that can present the opportunity. It doesn't mean present the opportunity to thousands of people in a big room, or it could just be meaning to sit down with somebody, across from somebody at a table at a restaurant, and efficiently and explain your opportunity, whatever that may be. Learn those things. Learn how to present, get your activity level up. And as you build, now, once you start to build a team or start to build a group of people who are partnering with you, you have to become a servant leader. You have to never, ever, one of the things I tell people, don't ever get into management mode.
Yeah. Amen to that.
Don't want to be a manager. We're not going to start delegating and checking numbers and calling people to see. No, this is not that kind of business. This is the kind of business where you have to get in the trenches with people, roll your sleeves up, and always, always, always be willing to do whatever you're telling somebody they need to do. You have to have already done it.
Yes. 100%.
Because if you haven't, people pick it up real quick. Trust me when I tell you, they pick it up real quick. And remember, I learned this a long time ago. A person told me that, hey, when you're trying to get people to understand something, always look at individuals as if you were talking to them on the other side of a bridge. They have their way of thinking on their side of the bridge, and on your side of the bridge, you have your way of thinking. What most people do, which is the wrong way to approach this, most people yell their ideas and they yell their way of thinking across the bridge to the other person. You've got to, as a leader, learn to walk across the bridge, take the person by the hand who's on the other side of the bridge, and slowly walk them across the bridge to your side.
Yeah.
And that's when you know, once they do that, you have a real partner. And this business is all about partnerships. It's all about camaraderie. It's all about life. It's all about people. And if you keep those things in mind, the sky's the limit.
Yeah, Q, I tell you, people always say, oh, you're in the business of such and such product or service or whatever. It's like, listen, I'm in the people business, man. I'm in the people business. If you take care of people, man, they'll take care of you. And
That's right.
little side note, my dad used to work for a lawnmower company. He worked for a distributorship in Minnesota, and it was for Snapper lawnmowers. You've seen the Forrest Gump mower that he's riding on.
Yeah.
And so he sold those. They were fantastic mowers. They ran well, all this stuff, right? Well, Snapper got this really bright idea. They said, we're going to go direct. We're going to go direct to all these people. But do you know what happened? And you can almost guess it straight away. All of those dealers, because my relationship my father had with the dealers was more important than the product that he was actually selling. Right? So they said, we're going to go direct because these people are still going to buy. They love our product. Guess what? They love the customer service that my dad provided.
Right.
They knew that he cared about them and their small business, their home and garden store and all this. That, man, they were like, whatever you want, man, I'm with you. It's like it became a people business. And so I learned a long time ago, this is a people business.
That's right.
And right now, this is my golden nugget. Right now, with COVID going on, everybody is on safer at home and lockdown, and some are trying to get out of it and all this thing. Right now, a message, a phone call, a letter, reaching out to people means the world to people.
True.
You're not calling them and say, hey, Q, you want to buy my product? My business is smoking. I need you to come join me. That's like you're trying to take advantage of the situation. You're trying to, it's just bad form, in my opinion. Not that it doesn't work. It's just bad form. But if I call you and we start talking and you're like, man, I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I lost my job. Ends our meeting. I'm scared. I'm scared of the virus. And then you just naturally get to go in and say, listen, I don't know if it's a fit for you, Quinton, but if I send you some information, we take a look at it. Here's a webinar you can get on. Here's a video to watch or whatever. It's a natural leap to a conversation about what we do. And it didn't come from a point of trying to sell them. It came to a point of caring about them as a person, having a conversation, and then sharing the information, and then see what happens with the entire thing. So
that's right.
Right now, as we end this chat, I appreciate your time, Q. I know you're a busy man. I know Atlanta, the weather's getting nice and hot down there, and starting to get outside a little bit, I hope. But I appreciate your time here. I can't wait to have you back on again. And if you're out there and you're watching, please just mash the hearts and the thumbs up button to say thank you to Q for spending the afternoon with us chatting on Leaders Chat Live. So mash the tar out of that heart and that thing, because I tell you what, you dropped some golden nuggets and some real truth today. And man, I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your knowledge and your experience with us.
Hey, I appreciate you having me on. It's truly my pleasure at any time.
All right. Thanks, Q. I appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you.
All right. So we're going to go talk a little bit here as we wrap up. If you haven't yet, make sure that you're following us on Leaders Chat Live on Facebook. Make sure you like and follow this page so when we go live, you get notified. If you want to follow us on Instagram, we'll also be posting over there of when we go live, who we go live with. So make sure you follow those two things so we can be in communication, make sure we're all set, and you don't miss a single chat that we do with these valuable leaders. Because I tell you right now, these guys are crushing what's happening out there in the world, and I can't wait to have the next chat next week, and we'll be posting on the page when we're doing that. So once again, thanks to Q. Thanks for everybody that joined us and watched us. Have a fantastic day, everybody.